Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani doubling down on his tax proposal for New York City. Watch.
The path that we want to pursue is working with Albany to raise taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers, the most profitable corporations, by that little bit more. If we do not have that state action, then the only tools that the city has at its disposal is a property tax increase.
Right. Instead of cutting, the Wall Street Journal editorial board calls the tactic, quote, taking New York hostage, saying, what an ultimatum. Fleece the rich for him or he'll fleece them and the middle class. This would smack middle-class homeowners in the outer boroughs, as well as the wealthy in Manhattan. Let's bring in Democratic strategist who lives in Manhattan, Melissa DeRosa. Melissa, what do you think about how he outlined what needs to be done? He says he basically has a crisis. He's got to raise taxes.
I think that this is a crisis of his own making. He ran his entire campaign on three-word slogans like tax the rich, very similar to Bernie and AOC, the far flank of the party. And at first it was tax the rich to get childcare. But then Kathy Hochul stepped in and gave him some of what he wanted, and he declared victory. But he still needs to tax the rich because this isn't about governing. It's about ideology. And it's about the DSA and the extremists in the party and class warfare. So now you're seeing what he's doing now, which is completely absurd.
And what he's going after people who make $120,000 as if they're the problem. They take home probably $65,000, let alone the other taxes, and they're the problem.
No, and you know what? It's very interesting because he ran an entire campaign on affordability, right? Saying affordability crisis, affordability crisis, affordability crisis. And now he's basically saying to Kathy Hochul, he's putting a gun to his own head, and he's saying, give me your wallet or I'll shoot. Because this is political suicide if he were to do something like this. And it would impact not just people, who are renting, because obviously real estate owners pass along these tax increases to the people who are renting and to homeowners, but small businesses. There are still far too many vacant storefronts in New York City post-COVID. So this would have ripple effects that are unending.
And by the way, the landlords are really getting worried because if he freezes the rent, now that he has the numbers on the board to do that, expenses are already going up, utility costs are going up, and they're saying, well, I'm going to go out of business.
No, 100%. And it's, at the end of the day, the real estate term, it doesn't pencil out. It won't make sense for these landlords to continue to hold on to these buildings. So then they've got two options. One, you let them fall into disrepair, so your tenants are living in squalor. Or two, you literally just walk away from the buildings and you end up with more vacancies. And so no one wins in this scenario.
So play this out, Melissa. Is one of the goal of the socialists to have the city take over those buildings and then they set the rent?
I don't think that they've thought that far through because that's not how these people work. I think that he thinks he's trying to force Kathy Hochul's hand into raising taxes on the wealthy. But think about this for a moment. In 1993, New York City's budget was $30 billion. Adjusted for inflation today, that's $68 billion. Instead, we're talking about a budget he just proposed that's $127 billion, larger than the budget of the entire state of Florida. So if you're going to look people in the eye and seriously tell them that you can't find places to cut, I don't think you're going to be in office very long.
Two things. He also said, I'm not going to add 5,000 cops, which risk get over the threshold, which Eric Adams is going to do. And he also says, on the encampments, he didn't say this, maybe I made a mistake. We're going to have them taken up. But he's going to have social workers taking up encampments. Do you know how violent that could be?
100%. But this is what happens when you elect people on ideology and not experience. He never had a real job. He doesn't know a single thing about government, and it shows. If you ask New York residents how they felt about the snowstorm response, there's still mounds of snow and ice all over the place. 25 people needlessly died, and it was an entire debacle. So I think that people should buckle up and see where we go from here.
Yeah, inexperience and incompetence, a rare combination that should screw us all in New York City. Thanks so much, Melissa. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.